How's it going, guys? Today I will be going over how to spot Bitcoin tops and bottoms using the trend-based fib tool, and it can be back-tested, and not only can use this on Bitcoin but your other cryptocurrency assets as well. I'm going to start with how to snipe the Bitcoin tops, and this generally will get you the top within a degree of like 20%. And also you'll be able to spot bottoms as well, and this isn't to be used without confluence with other indicators or parameters, but it is a first look, I guess, at levels that you should be watching as this cycle progresses. All right. I've mentioned previously in my S&P 500 video that you need to look for a move within the market, which sort of looks like this, and you can see here. What you're looking for is the impulse wave that starts the bullish momentum of the market. And I will show you with all the examples here, and there are a little bit of different ways of doing this in terms of identifying the impulse wave, because not all patterns are made equal. So first example would be the 2012 Bitcoin bull market. You want to get your tool here. I'm going to put the settings on the screen so everybody can see. I do have higher values here, but they're not relevant for the time being. Just focus on everything up to the 4618. All right. So like I said before, we want to identify the wave here and here. I want to make sure that I can see it. Measure from the bottom, the top, and on the way down, right? All the way down to the bottom. And as you can see, what is marked out at the top here is a level between the 4236, which is the standard fib measurement. I'm going to move this out here so you can read the level, right? And the 4618. And yes, I understand that the level isn't exactly marked. However, it is within this sector which you want to be looking, or even at the start at which the price hits 4236, that you want to be de-risking and obviously not risking on any size at all onto the markets. All right, the next example. Which one do you measure from? Not this one, right? You want to measure from the impulse wave that initiates the bullish momentum. This is still a consolidation range, right? So you see the bottom here, you mark the top here. Sorry, I'm going to go back one step so you can see what I'm measuring. The impulse wave starts from this bottom, this top, and down to this low here. And you want to think of it just as, I guess, gravity pulling the price action down and the price action bouncing off that level onto the fib zone above, which we're only looking at the 4 level. So I'll measure that, the 4 level being the 4 multiplier here. And you can see, once again, it is accurate between 4618 and 4236. Cool. All right. How about the 2019 bull market? You would have actually been able to sell the top here should you have followed this method, right? During this range, the first move that pushes up and initiates this move generates a 4618 level, which is the 13.5K region. And something that this is a little bit off topic, but something that occurs every cycle, and it is a short that I took in the current crypto bull market, is getting the range between the previous all-time high and the low created by the bear market, and using the fib retracement tool and measuring what I like to call the rebound zone obviously with the fibs on non-log. When calculating 0.618 on Bitcoin, I tend to only use the non-log fib. There's confluence with the rebound zone and the trend-based fib extension. But what you want to notice here is that Bitcoin respects this area, and traditional markets also do this. They respect the 0.618 level quite closely, right? Let me try to get this exactly as possible. Cool. So yeah, once that 0.618 level is touched, shorts are quite recommended, and stops above the 0.65 level, right? So if you were to enter any shorts here, above that 0.65 level. And you can actually see this 0.618 tagged on the Bitstamp chart. I believe this price action for Brave New Coin, the longest time frame history for the Bitcoin price, is aggregated price action. So we have confluence there. And what does this mean for the actual extent for the bull market, right? There's a wide consolidation here during the COVID period, and a new trend is started in order to push out the all-time high post-COVID, right? So the actual measure for the high for the COVID rally is the low made here and the impulse wave to the high here. This is measured very similarly to my S&P 500 trend-based tool measurements as well. So now we get a level which can be marked between 4618 and 4236, right? So as we enter into this gold box, that's when you want to be taking your profits, right? So if out of the past 3 cycles, this has been an effective way at locating the top of the cycle, what does it say about this cycle? We perfectly have a wave here, the impulse wave that starts the move. And I want to be on the side of being conservative and not taking this low. I want to take this low here and measure it out. And should it actually extend further to say here, actually I'll take the full extent just so we can have some moon boy moments here. We see the level between 4618 and 4236 as being the 154k to 180k region, right? And why I like this level right now, and I like this measurement, is that there's confluence with the 2618 level, which is where the price action started to, well, actually stopped and consolidated sideways. So it respected the 2618 level before going to potentially pushing for all-time highs, right? Should the market end up turning over, right, similar to COVID, and we do have a right translated cycle instead of left translated, say it does this or something, and it starts a new trend like this, you would measure it from here and whatever it makes here in the later part of 2025, right? But as it stands, this extent has not been fulfilled yet to the 4618 and 4236. So we're looking at the 150k level for this market. There is a very similar method to spot Bitcoin bottoms, but I won't go over that this time. But let's have some fun and make a prediction here on when the Bitcoin all-time high may occur. I'm trying to find a parallel channel tool, which is here. All right. Let's draw it out. So this is a channel that I've been watching extremely closely for Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that it has to hit the top of this channel, but as it stands, each cycle for Bitcoin usually contains 3 different angles, right? First angle being the initiation of the upside move. The second angle, and this is what parabolas are, right? Multiple angles of attack before reaching the peak, because you can only go so high before the price starts rolling over, right? I like to have it measured within 3. So 1, 2, and the third and final angle to the top. So now we have this cycle, which we can say this is the first, this is the second, and the third will come in a little bit stronger, right? Or even stronger than that. Right, cool. If you saw my previous video on S&P 500 marking out 6,300 as the level for the top, which could occur at the end of this year, start of next year, something else worth noting is that Bitcoin usually tops in December, or it starts to roll over after that December period. So say for example, we have this part of December. I'm going to measure out the average expansion for the price action after ranging. Let me try to find the tool for it. I am so lost. Found it. So after a consolidation period, expansions generally occur for approximately 90 days, right? So the expansion period that the price action rallies to a top generally occurs for 90 days. Around 90 days before experiencing a near top. Again, expansion, 90 days before a near top. And this is something that occurs a lot throughout Bitcoin's history, right? So 90 days roughly, 90 days roughly, 90 days roughly, 90 days before stopping. And something that I'm looking at the moment, if we were to be ending in the December period, is that if we measure from here, perhaps the top for Bitcoin comes in early to mid-December. Should this price action continue, right? So that's one thing worth looking at. It might even be that we measure it from here and it goes into early January before the price action tops. It really depends on how the stock market performs. Right, I'm going to take this off the chart and we're going to look at previous cycles as to when Bitcoin has actually topped and when that has occurred. So we can see here, I'm just going to mark out the December period because that's what we're looking at for the Bitcoin top this cycle, December. Again, in December, Bitcoin tops mid-December. This is already dumping prior to December. So there's a common trend here, right? Like November is already dumping here and December is already steeping into the bear market. and this is the first Bitcoin bull market, which is an outlier. But 3 out of the other 2 cycles, December is the period that Bitcoin tends to start its bear market, right? And now that we're doing what looks like an Elliott wave, 5th count, 1, 2, 3, consolidation, and the final wave, wherever that may be, I would be looking closely, and it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to have violent third and final angles, 1, 2, and the final wave being the most violent. 150,000 is still not out of the question, and this type of setup is worth looking at when analyzing Bitcoin's price action going into the end of this year. I'll make an example here by projecting a fractal, which is not completely relevant to this cycle. However, it shows that it is possible to be approaching the all-time high with an extremely vertical angle, as you can see here, right? It's entirely plausible that the market just rips up, but also other things are possible, like we go up to the 100k region, the psychological resistance there at the midline, come down, and then we have a violent final wave up, and then we go down. I actually have no idea what's going to happen. However, I've placed longs in this region here, and I'm waiting for the price action to go up, and have longs also in other altcoins as well, which I can go over in my next video. Alright, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Let me know what other things I can cover. Peace.